Welcome, fight fans, to my channel. This is Johnny, and today we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning a possible unification bout between Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson. Guys, before we get into this, I want to let you know we're going to be going over both fighters' resumes. We're going to talk about their strength of schedule. We're going to talk about some statistics, how they go about their work, their win-loss record, knockout percentage, things like that. But before we get into it, we need to discuss some obvious facts about the topic. We know Shakur Stevenson has a title fight coming up July 6th in his hometown of Newark, New Jersey. He's taking on 12-1 Artem Harutyunyan for his WBC title. That will be on the line. We also know that Tank Davis is coming off an impressive 8th round knockout of Frank Martin to retain his WBA title. Also, let's talk a little bit about the landscape of the 135-pound division. Unification bouts seem to be the #1 priority with the new money coming into boxing, with His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh making the biggest fights. Fight fans can only expect that it's only a matter of time that some of these fights will be matched up. Yesterday, we did a video talking about the potential matchup of Tank versus Lomachenko. We know the 4 champions are 2 Ukrainians, Denis Berinchyk and Lomachenko, and 2 Americans with Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson. If you haven't watched the video of the matchup between Loma and Tank, do it after this video. I've tagged it in the description here. Also, we should mention that today news broke that Tank's coach, Kenny Ellis, announced that they are in talks for a potential late fall matchup with Lomachenko. We'll see if that takes place. A lot of the naysayers say it should have happened 6-7 years ago. I say I'd rather it happen now than never. Let's push all that to the side and talk about this potential matchup between 2 superstar Americans at 135 pounds. First, let's take a look at Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson is 21-0 with 10 knockouts. He carries into the ring a 48% knockout to win ratio. He's currently ranked #2 in the world in the lightweight division. That's 135 pounds. The 26-year-old American is a southpaw standing at 5'8" with a 68-inch reach. He is the WBC lightweight world champion, and he is taking on Artem Harutyunyan July 6th. Harutyunyan's 12-1. He last fought Edwin De Los Santos, who was 16-1. Shakur won a unanimous 12-round decision. Yoshino was 16-0. Shakur knocked him out in the 6th. Robson Conceição was 17-1. Shakur won a 12-round decision. And Oscar Valdez was 30-0. Shakur won a 12-round decision. Guys, what do we always say here? Boxing is a sport of what have you done for me lately? For all of Shakur's naysayers, they came out of the woodwork when they watched him go about his business against Edwin De Los Santos. A lot of them said it was a pedestrian performance. Some of the people said that he ran the whole time and didn't fight. His fans say that Shakur wasn't 100%. He put on a defensive mastery performance and did what he had to do to win. Now, all of that could be erased for the good or for the bad come July 6th. If Shakur comes out and has a superstar, masterful performance, I have to predict that Shakur's coming out to prove a point. He probably wants to get Harutyunyan out of there. He probably wants to knock him out. Frank Martin couldn't do it in his last fight, and nobody's been able to do it. So you'd have to think, if Shakur comes out and looks great, looks aggressive, and has some power in his hands, all those naysayers will fall to the wayside, and it could electrify a potential matchup, which fight fans have been asking for a while, between Core and Tank. Now let's take a closer look at Gervonta Davis. Guys, we know Tank is undefeated, 30-0 with 28 knockouts. He walks around with a 93% knockout to win ratio. The lightweight is ranked #1 in the world. The 29-year-old American is a southpaw, standing at 5'5.5" with a 67.5-inch reach. We know this past weekend in Vegas, he knocked out the previously undefeated Frank Martin via brutal fashion in the 8th round. Before that, he fought Ryan Garcia, who was 23-0, knocked him out in the 7th. Hector Garcia was 16-0, knocked him out in the 9th. Rolly Romero was 14-0, knocked him out in the 6th. Guys, every time Tank fights, it is a spectacle. We could expect fireworks, knockouts, the backflip, his signature move off of the ropes. You could either love him or hate him, but you can't deny that he is must-see TV. Now, will this fight with Lomachenko take place next? I don't know. I don't have the answers. I want to see that fight. Will the fight with Shakur Stevenson take place next? Once again, I don't know. I'm only posing the questions with potential matchups. It's time for us fans to see the best fight the best in each division. At 135 pounds, ranked 1 and 2, you have Tank and Shakur. When I look at this matchup side by side, Shakur is going to have the height advantage. He's going to have barely a reach advantage, but Tank is obviously going to have the power. Probably will have the mental edge in terms of the psychology going into the fight. We will see what happens with Shakur against Harutnian. We'll see how that fight goes. He has to win that. This will be a southpaw versus southpaw affair. Shakur thinks he could beat Tank. He's been saying it for years. Shakur fans have been saying it for years. His fans will talk about his defensive mastery, his high ring IQ. His naysayers and detractors will talk about he runs too much, he has no power in his hands. All in all, both guys are undefeated. 30-0, 21-0. The number that jumps out the page is Gervonta's 93% knockout to win ratio versus Shakur's under 50%. They go about their business two different ways. This is why stylistically this matchup excites me. Both guys are young. Shakur's not even in his physical prime yet. I would love to see this fight happen. First, he must handle business this July 6th, and from there, we could further this conversation. If this ever does take place, which side would you be on? Team Tank or Team Shakur? Let me know all that in the comment section below.